Greetings. Today I'm paying an Iron Hands Assault Intercessor, which was requested by a viewer. I've got some 3D printed parts here. Both pauldrons are using Tech Marine style trim, which I put custom markings on myself. The prosthetic right arm is also printed, keeping the original arm's heavy bolt pistol. His head is from the Iron Father Pharos kit, of which I used to kit bash my own Master of the Forge. I primed the model black, then started with edge highlighting the black arm with Eshin grey. Pretty much every edge was given this treatment. It took roughly half an hour to do. I'm flipping between dry brushing and manual highlighting at the moment, not sure which is best for me yet. The second highlight was done with Mechanicus standard grey, hitting the largest surfaces for a bit more emphasis. In preparation for transfers, I used Ardcoat on the knees. I cut out the squad marking and an assault tactical marking. In the last three codices, the Iron Hands denote their tactical markings on the knees instead of the greaves. The armorial and clan marking were painted with Ulthuan grey. I chose Clan Raukaan, the third company for this guy. I also painted the pistol's furniture with this colour. I cleaned up the little mistakes with Black Legion. The micro set had dried at this point, so I applied some micro sol to help the decals conform to the rounded surfaces of the knee pad. I used Screamer Pink to base coat the wax and the handle of the Thunder Hammer. I used Khorne Red to highlight. I also used Khorne Red to paint some of the cables. The parchment was base coated with Steel Legion Drab. The Iron Hands have excessive cybernetics. Art of their faces often looks sickly. Steel Legion Drab might be a nice base colour for this. I tried painting some hazard stripes on this cable. I didn't do too well, but it'll be fine after weathering. I cleaned up some of the biggest mistakes with Black Legion and Khorne Red. The parchment received Morghast bone to layer up some texture. I also layered up the face, avoiding the recesses. Next I applied Flayed One Flesh as a highlight in the centre of each surface, applied a bit sporadically. I final highlight with Pallid witch flesh was applied to the very tips of the facial features. I think this is pretty good, all things considering. I forgot to paint the rock he's standing on, so I base coated it with Steel Legion Drab and highlighted it with Morghast bone. This combination matches the basing material I'll apply at the end. I applied a varnish at this point too, sealing the decals. Next I started work on the metallics. I felt it fitting to use Iron Hand steel for the Iron Hands. It's a lighter steel colour compared to lead belcher, and should stand out nicely against the black power armour. I base coated the gun body, the prosthetic arm, the Imperialis, the Thunderhammer, and sections of the power pack. I painted the head of the Thunderhammer with Canoptek alloy, figuring that an accent colour would complement the silver skull on there. I followed that up with a dark grey wash. I missed some spots on the gun, so I went back with Iron Hand steel for those. Then cleaned up the white where the wash overflowed. Of course, I forgot to paint the Iron Hand with an Iron Hand, so I used Iron Hand steel for the Iron Hand on the Iron Hand. I highlighted the belt with Skavenblight Dinge, trying to give it a black leather look. I then returned to the hand and used the same dark grey wash as earlier. I dotted the rivets with Model Air Silver. I also did a light highlight of the skulls to help them stand out more from the Canoptek alloy. I dotted the cybernetic eye with Evil Sunz Scarlet. I used the 0.15mm micron pen to draw some scribbles on the purity seal. Now for the enamel wash. I decided to try out AK's dark streak in Grime, thin to a wash consistency. I applied this all over with only a very thin amount on the face, just to give him a bit more of a sickly appearance. I removed a fair amount using thinner on a cotton tip, just softly wiping it away from most surfaces. I was a bit softer on the white sections, as the grimy texture helps make the white look more believable. After it was dry, I went back to the Model Air Silver and painted the little greeble thing on his leg. I also highlighted some of the more pronounced silver edges. I did my usual basing method off camera. A brown base coat followed by PVA glue, dunking it in basing material. Then I varnished the model to seal everything together and protect it. And here we have it. This came out a lot better than I thought it would going in. It's my first time painting black armour at this scale. The closest I've done before is a chaplain, but that had a lot of bone and gold trim to hide the poor paintwork on the black. I think the face came out really nicely though. Those pale colours and the green tint from the enamel really make him come across as how I imagine a member of the Iron Hands would look. All those cybernetics would definitely affect your appearance. I'm not too happy with the faint green tint the enamel is left behind though. A blue would have been a nicer fit I think, with the green still used on the face. That being said, it has worked in places. The gun, the arm, the face as I said, and definitely the Thunderhammer. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this one. Maybe you found something useful for your own hobbying. As I said at the start, this chapter was a request. It wasn't one of the ones I planned, but I definitely enjoyed doing it. I've got a list of requests, which I'm starting to work through now, so if you've got any ideas about future videos or any questions, let me know in the comments.